Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the second subtopic of vector, which is 5.2 scalar product, or we can call it as the dot product. So let's have a look at few objective here. The first goal is to find the scalar product or the dot product. The second goal is to use the properties of the scalar product. And the third goal is to find the angles between the two vectors. So let's have a look at the first example where we will find the scalar product, the first objective. Okay, in this video, we will focus on how to find the scalar product, our first goal. So the first example here is based on the following diagram, find A dot B. So please remember that this is bold, A bold, meaning the A vector dot with the B vector. And since we are also given an angle of 112 degree, it means that we gotta use this formula instead. We have two formula of A dot B. So let me just roughly show you here. A dot B equals to its magnitude, both of them, and then time with cos theta. Another one is just A dot B without any angles. The formula is without any angles. So this is different formula than this one. So let's go back to the question here. Example 1. Based on the following diagram, find A dot B. So in this diagram, we have an angle. And so we cannot neglect it. We got to use it and sub it into the formula. So A dot B is just equals to its magnitude of A vector. So magnitude of A vector is just very easy. You know that this is A vector, which is 0, 5, and 1. So please remember that this is the A vector. Alphabet A, big letter, is the point. Remember that. So small letter means the vector, a direction. And it has a magnitude as well. We can count it. So it is just 0 squared plus 5 squared plus 1 squared. So we can write it down there. 0 squared plus 5 squared plus 1 squared. And then another vector is the B vector. This is the B vector, small b vector. Big letters is for the point itself. From where? From the origin. So just remember the small letter that we will always use it. Or you want to use big letter also can, but you make sure you put like this arrow, OB, and an arrow above it. And also same as the OA, an arrow above it. Okay, make sure you write it down nicely if you want to use that. Okay, and so its magnitude of the vector B is just 4 squared plus 0 squared plus 12 squared. And we must also times with its cos 112 degree. And so you use your calculator, you will get here square root of 26. And this one is square root of, 4 times square root of 10. And then times with cos 112. The value is just negative 24.1. That's it. That is the A dot B scalar product. Let's move on to the next example here. Given that A vector is 1, negative 5, negative 3, and the B vector is 3, negative 2, 7, find this. So before we go to the find this thing, let us find one by one. 3 times vector A plus B vector. So this is my first step. My first step is just to solve one by one first. Solve one by one. Okay, so let's start with the 3 times A vector. So A vector is just 1, negative 5, negative 3, tutup kurungan, plus with the B, which is 3, negative 2, and 7. We calculate it and we will get 6, negative 17, and negative 2. Please count it by yourself, all right? Either you use your brain or use calculator. The next one is A vector minus 2B vector. So A vector is 1, negative 5, negative 3. You must write this down. You tak boleh terus bagi jawapan, cannot. You must write it down. So 2 times with B vector, which is 3, negative 2, 7. And it will give you negative 5, negative 1, and negative 17. That is your first step, is to solve one by one. After that, you solve the dot product. So second step is solve the dot product. So the dot product here is this thing, this both. And then what you can do is just times them by using the dot formula. So let me copy this. Everything here, my answer. Put it there just a bit. So I got to times it with using the dot product. Please write the dot very, very clearly so that you know this is not just simply times one by one and then you do not know what's the formula. There is a formula for it. So the formula for it is very, very easy. All you got to do is just times 6 with the negative 5. So I guess write it down here. 6 times with negative 5. And then I put plus. This is the formula. So plus with the second one, which is negative 17 times with negative 1. And then put a plus again. You must put a plus again, all right? With the negative 2 times with negative 17 right now. So the formula is just this first row, you must times it, and then you plus with the second row times it, you got this. And then you plus again with third row, you must times it, and you got this. Use your calculator and you will get the answer of 21 only. So basically what I'm saying here is just having a formula from this one. This is just A1 times with B1 and then you plus with A2 times with B2. You got this? And then plus, don't forget the plus A3 times B3. So please remember this formula. You must memorize it. Have fun. This two formula is very, very important. This one. The one with, this is the core formula of the dot product. And this having the angle with them. All right. If the question is given to you, the angle, you use it. This formula instead. Okay. That's what I'm saying. And now let's move on to the next example. We have here 3j vector minus 2k vector. So basically, this is like one whole vector. Okay, if you remember, the definition of vector is in terms of I, j, and k. Remember? Let's say like example, I plus 2j plus 3k. So this is actually one vector. ijk, okay? So the way you write it down is 1, 2, 3, isn't it? So this is called as one vector, which we do not know what is the name of the vector. No need to worry. All we got to do is just change this 3j minus 2k into 0, 3, and negative 2. How do I know it's 0? It is just because of we have OI in front here. We have OI. OI meaning 0i, zero coefficient of the I. And so I know here is 0. And then we got a dot product it with the I plus 2j minus 7k. So I bring out the only coefficient, which is 1, 2, and negative 7. Bring it here. And now I am ready to use its dot product, which is 0 times 1 plus 3 times 2 plus negative 2 times negative 7, and we will get 20. And the last one, here we got 2i minus j. So we do not have k. So k means it is a 0k. It is just plus 0k. That's why I write it down here 2 coefficient, and then negative 1 coefficient for j, and 0 coefficient for k. So you just write it down there as a 1 vector, and then you times it, we dot product it with 3i plus 4k. So here it means that we lack of something, which is we lack of j, and it's just 0j over there. Okay, so 3, 0, 4. Positive 3, 0 value, and then positive 4. So I write it down here in one vector. And so it's just a dot product. We use the formula. The formula is just 2 times 3 plus with negative 1 times 0. Even though it's 0, you must write it down. Plus with 0 times 4. Even though it's 0, you still write it down. And so the answer is just 6. And so we're done here. We have already learned how to use this formula and this formula. Thank you.